context of their child's development. For example, we may see some violence on the television and then we can stop the movie or whatever, or after the movie, and explain, well, this is how the Caucasian, this is how the authorities run the world. They'll go round to different countries, stamping their authority, sending in the troops, and taking over. They will use extreme violence. They'll drop bombs, guns, etc., 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 to take over an environment. And then we'll juxtapose it to how Allah says we should conduct ourselves. We'll juxtapose it with the situation that is happening on the streets. They treat us in this way, visit us with extreme violence, but then say to the people on the brothers and sisters that they shouldn't have guns and weapons. And we stimulate a debate. Parental guidance.
But that's based on the assumption, or based on the premise that we're actually spending time with our children. And that's why that's such an important thing, because if we're not sitting with them, if we're not spending time with them, then we don't understand what's going on in their minds. We don't know what's going on in their minds, and we don't actually know what they're taking from the television either, or from the films, or from the books, or from anything else that they're doing.
Well, you can't really have parental guidance if you're not going to be a parent, which is why, I had a little definition of parent down there as well. A parent, a father or a mother, parent, an animal or a plant which younger ones are derived from. These are the different definitions of parent. A source or origin of a smaller or less important part. A parent, a number of subsidiary organizations or companies. Yeah? Parent, but what we're talking about is a mother and a father, somebody who parents, somebody who not just pays rent, which is what a parent is sometimes described, but a parent, somebody who is from the original, and the smaller comes from, and the younger ones rely on in order to grow into a mature version of a parent. Not somebody who has children and just leaves them and goes off and does whatever.
I think that's what happens in this society, because what's been happening is that parents are being told that really we're to go out to work, because the family's been broken down. Mum and dad, mother and father, end up going out to work. Yeah. And with mother going out to work, that means that children are left really to their own devices, or left to themselves. And then what happens is that they're reared by the television a lot of the time, or they're desensitized and dehumanized, because it dehumanizes the children by having to stay in front of the television or having to be with other children rather than being with an adult, with someone who's got a more mature perspective.
Right.
And then what it does is it stops them from growing and developing the way that they need to, in order for us as children to feel more and to be more caring towards our brothers and sisters. Because when I'm with the children, when I'm with Joseph and Elijah, I'll hear Elijah saying, well, Joseph said, I was going to hit him with something. And I'll say, that's not very nice. Or I'll tell him, that's not how you handle your brother. Handle your brother like that. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. So I'll be steering them the whole time while I'm working with them. But if I'm not there, then they're leaning on their own understanding, and they're actually treating each other as less than human.
But you're talking about being a housewife. You're talking about being somebody who is there for the children.
Exactly.
So, the society says that you must go out to work and leave the children to their upbringing or to their guide. Can they then complain when we are saying that the effects of the killing that we're seeing on the street is in their hands? They're the ones that have guided us into this situation where parents are going out to work and leaving the children to be raised by teachers, by television, by friends. They're the ones who are doing this. So therefore, they take the responsibility.
Well, they do, but they won't. Whether they accept the responsibility or not is a different matter. Because what's happening now, brothers and sisters, what's happening now, family? If you notice that with the media and with the government, what they're doing is they're actually fining parents for not sending their children to school. So the responsibility and the onus lies with the parents. So if the child does something that if they commit a crime, then the parents have to pay the fine. But what they've done is they've taken all of the weight and all of the responsibility, or all of the the power that the parent has, they've taken it away from them, but they've left like an empty shell of parenthood behind. So they're saying you can't punish your child this way. You can't leave them in the house. You can't leave them in their room for over X amount of time. You can't physically chastise your children. You can't do this. You can't do that. Otherwise, we're going to tell them to call Childline. All you can do is talk to your children. And talking doesn't always work. And if you don't have time, and if we're not really connected with our children because we're out working, then we can't really talk to them in a way that they can understand. So all of the power and authority that you have as a parent has been taken away, and they've just left the empty shell. And now that they know that it's not working, what they're doing now is that they're saying, well, look, let's hand the children back to the parents because they're nothing really to do with us. You take control of your children. Why aren't you controlling your children?
It's a bit like the Iraq situation now that it's really taken a turn for the worse. They want to hand it back to the Iraqis. Oh, okay, you got control of it now. It's all yours. Yeah. They're handing them an absolute mess to try and sort out, which is going to be extremely difficult to sort out. We've dealt with
Saddam Hussein. It's like, you all take over now, okay? You take it from here. What they do is they leave the people. They take away who they feel like they should take away, leave the people in devastation, and then say, you take over from now. You can handle it from here. But what they don't realise is that they've actually taken away all of our power, control and authority, so that our children don't even want to listen to us a lot of the time because they know that social services are going to come in, or the children are going to call Childline, or they're going to call one of those helplines and get the parents put in prison, or get the teachers sued, or get the teachers put in prison. So now you can't discipline your children. But there's not much that we can do now.
So the parent situation is similar, like you were saying with Saddam Hussein. They went in as parents over Iraq. They went in as parents and said they're the Childline now. They're the social service. They've gone in and arrested Saddam. Put him in prison. As a bad parent, they're the ones that are saying, oh, well, we're the parents now, so we're going to guide you. And we've guided them into that situation. Brothers and sisters, we're looking at stopping the killing, and we're looking at parental guidance. Parents, because it's very interesting. You can have a parent who is a real parent. You can have a parent who's a foster parent. And the two might not necessarily have the same intention for the children. Parental guidance for the believer is not the same as parental guidance for the disbeliever. The angle is different because we have a different mental, spiritual destination. Is our aim to produce a little God, or is our aim to produce a little devil? Brothers and sisters, we need to look at it. Who has control of our guidance system? Is it the authorities, those same authorities that send troops into Iraq and into Afghanistan and countries like that? Or is it the Most High God? If we say we are believers, whether that be Muslim, Christian, Jew, or whatever, if we believe in the Most High God, can we then submit to the guidance, the parents, the foster parents, who don't have the best interests for us? They obviously don't have the best interests for us if they're telling us, even as male and female, that woman, you must go out to work. Kick that man out of your house. Separate, they're dividing families. Kill the male, spare the child. This is the methodology of Pharaoh. It's the same methodology today.
And it's really something, because when we first started mixing with people in this environment, with the Caucasian mindset in this country, it was so alien to us that we were shocked, brothers and sisters. Do you remember when we were young and we would like play with or be with around the white children in school, and we'd hear the children saying "shut up" to their mum, and we'd be like,
yeah, then mum,
we'd be so shocked. Yeah, that's right.
Why don't you leave me alone?
We'd be absolutely shocked. But now
whoa, brothers and sisters.
It's nothing now. We're so used to it because we've been in this environment for so long, and that we've become accustomed to the way that they handle their parents and the way that their authority or their lines of authority go. They're very minimal. Yeah. And even when we look at the way that the education system is, I think they spent 21 billion pounds last year, brothers and sisters, or over the past few years, and it hasn't helped. 7-year-old children, or children who are under 7, their writing skills, their English and maths skills and abilities are so limited that even they're saying that they're being unsuccessful. And so the children aren't able to go on to the foundation levels to even take them on